Assalamu alaikum students. This is HTML lecture number 1 in which I will be talking about the introduction little and how this works on. This is a very small simple sample code right in front of you which I am selecting at present, as you can see. But I will just explain this a little later. But our lecture today is actually going to be based on this whole series is going to be based on this w3schools.com. And as you can see the link of this, I will have given this already, this link to you in your class, plus I will also share this link with you in the comments or the description below. Today we are actually going to talk on the very basics of the HTML tutorial. As you can see over there, the HTML, the links which we are actually going to do today are this HTML whole, the introduction, the editors. For the editors, I have already told you that we will be actually using this Visual Studio Code, which you already have familiar, and if you are basically a programming geek, so you have an idea that how this is being used. I will just give you a little brief overview, a little repetition for those who still already know it. So those who are a little back, they can actually follow us and they can be at the back. So we will be talking about the basic elements, the attributes for any of the elements which are going to be added, the tags which are going to be added, how the headings and the paragraphs are going to be done, and then a little styling over there. Before I proceed on this one and the HTML, today in this small tutorial, I'm going to give approximately from this topmost up till the paragraphs, or actually I will try to give it a little HTML formatting over there so that a little viewing of the HTML is being done over there, and these are the links over there. I will share these links, or the main link, this w3schools.com/html/default.asp page is going to be our main topics from which I'm going to cover it. Before that, since I am actually on a MacBook platform, as you can see over there, very importantly, I have to have this XAMPP software, and which is actually also installed. If you are on a Windows base, you already have installed it and you have this running over there in front of you. So since this is actually asking me my password because of the security reasons, so probably this is not going to ask you on your Windows database over there. Now, since I'm starting it after a restart of my laptop or whatever I'm working on, so this is actually that interface over there. As you can see in your Windows, it's going to be a little different. And from here, I can actually open my, or I can actually start my Apache Webserver or the MySQL database over there. For those who are on the Windows platform over there, I can just give you a little idea that how this Windows control panel is actually going to look over there in front of you. So XAMPP Windows control panel, just to give you an idea. I've already shared a video with you people in the same channel over there, so which can give you. So something like this is going to be in front of you. If you have already installed XAMPP over there according to that video, then that is enough for you. So this control panel will be right in front of you if you have installed it, and you can start your Apache web server by starting this. This will be actually start initially, but when you will start it, this color will go on to a green color, and this will actually be running on the two ports 80 and 443 over there. And the MySQL server, which is actually kind of a database software. So XAMPP is actually just like a module, and that module is actually being installed on your computer, either on the Windows platform or on your MacBook platform. So they are actually two softwares, and this is actually a control panel controlling that software over there. So now my laptop is now just like a server, and it is actually relaying that website which I'm actually creating today on the port 80 or port 443 over there, the ports over there. A little detailed discussion of this port we will go on when we are talking about in the lab, but just for now, these ports are actually just like channels from where you can actually communicate with your server over there. For example, whenever I'm actually opening a youtube.com or google.com or any other website, you are actually having this ports being forwarded or ports being accessed over there. So you're not given actually the full-time access to any server whenever you are connecting to that server, so that you can actually hack and go into that and create havoc over there. You are actually always going to have a port. From that port, some certain type of communication is allowed. So just for example, let's just see, let me go back on my XAMPP over there. In my case, it's an Apache Webserver over there, and the control is a little different because of the Mac over there. I can start this, and it will take some time. It will do some checks over there that all the protocols are there, all the softwares are installed, and this will turn out into a green color over there just now. I hope it starts. This takes some place in the RAM, so your computer RAM is actually an important thing. Of course, since this is just a very single laptop server, so it's not going to take that much of the space or the RAM over there. But of course, if many users are going to be connecting to my computer, then of course this is going to, so you can see now this is running and it has turned into its green color. Just to check on, at present today's session is not going to be taking this MySQL database, but still I'm just going to start it just to check it on. It's going to take some time depending upon, because I have a screen capture software at present also taking the RAM at present, because I'm screen capturing this screen over there. So now you can see now that both two are, the Pro FTD is actually a file FTP software. We will not be using this, at least in this course over there. So this the only two which we are actually going to use is the Apache Webserver and the MySQL database over there. And just to confirm it out that your server is running over there, one thing very important, if you are inside Windows platform over there, so your XAMPP is actually going to be a folder inside your C drive over there, and inside that C drive folder, if you have already seen that video, it will be a folder inside your C drive folder called as XAMPP over there. And inside that XAMPP, as you can see over there in this small screenshot over there, inside your C drive, it will be a XAMPP folder, and inside that XAMPP folder there will be an htdocs folder. This folder is actually the main folder which you are actually going to open, and inside you are going to write down any HTML file or any other software which you are going to write down, and that's going to behave as a server over there. So if you are on the Windows platform, you should have inside your C drive, you should have a XAMPP folder, and in the XAMPP folder there should be an htdocs over there. And if you are just installing it very first time over there, whenever you are going to go in your browser can be anything. Supposedly, since if I just write down localhost over there, why localhost word? Because local, I'm hosting a website locally on my laptop or my PC at present, so this is actually just going to be called as localhost. We will come back to it maybe in the second or third lecture of this series, that what is going to be the IP address, if it's going to be IP address. But just for now, this is going to be localhost, and as soon as I will press localhost, now you can see there's a kind of a website in front of you. Now this website was actually done in the last lecture with my class over there, but just to tell you that this I can just take it off at present just for you people. And if I delete this one over there and just this part, and every time I'm saving it over there, this is very important. If you are a coder and you are actually making codes every time specifically on your laptop, because your battery can die down anytime, or maybe if you are plugged in even, then you can, if you have PC over there, you can have your load shedding over there, or maybe power failure. So always have the code every time, Control S over there. If you are on a MacBook or a Mac operating software, then Command S should be there. So if I have saved it just now and I go back on my browser over there and I just refresh it over there, so you can see now it's empty. Why it's empty? Because it's just a simple HTML page over there and it's empty over there. And just to give you an idea, because I've already opened it in your Visual Studio Code, I have opened it, open the folder over there. And to open that folder, I have gone in my, since this is, I'm on the MacBook, inside it, you have to go in your C drive, you have to go in your XAMPP, you have to go in your htdocs folder, and then you have to go towards your XAMPP folder here in my MacBook case over there. And inside the XAMPP folder, you can see similarly, just like the Windows, in my MacBook also there is an htdocs folder. I will double click it, and now this is my folder which I'm going to open. Now I have a lot amount of codes already inside it. In your case, it will be totally empty, so you have to make a new file over there that will be index.html. Just for now, for you people, since I'm just going to delete it at present just for now. And if I delete it over there from here, these are some old files, we will come back to later on. And if I now refresh it, because my server is running, if I refresh it now you can see there is no website. Now it's telling me that, okay, the file is not found, because by default, it's going to find out a file named as index.html. So index.html is that main file, which is actually going to be the home page of your website, which is being hosted as the name localhost at present. So if you want to make go in that one, you want to go in your Visual Studio Code, you can make a new file over there by just scrolling it over there, and inside this htdocs folder you can click on this symbol over there and you can make a new file. This is one way of doing it. I'm going to do this one over there. So I'm just going to write down over there index.html, and as soon as I write down index.html, press enter, and now I have a file over there just called as index.html. Now if I go back on my browser over there, your browser can be anything, Safari, Firefox, or anything, something over there. If I just now refresh it, now this is empty, because now it can find a file index.html, but it is empty. So that's why it's not showing me anything. So this is the first and foremost case, that you should have this first file index.html. Now you can see I have many different files over there, index2.html. These are some old files from my old lecture series over there, so that's why they are there, and I just changed their name so that now I can have an index.html file. I will come back to this one, how you can actually access them as well. That's a totally different case over there. I will give you a little idea on that one in the next part of your series. But here at present, the main thing is that whenever you're going to press on the local host over there, either you or any of the browser, just press localhost, and if this is not working, this means that your XAMPP Apache Webserver is practically not running, or it is not having the protocol set over there, which means practically that in your XAMPP over there, whenever you are going to have it, let me just give you again. So in this window or in this screenshot, these two are not running, and you are not going to have this green color background on this Apache and MySQL. So if you have done up till this point, this means that now you are okay, and now you can go on towards your HTML coding. Those who are still on the MacBook platform over there, just to give you an idea, if you go in your this applications over there, and inside it you will be having this XAMPP over there, and from here you can open this manager. But if you want to open this in your Windows platform, if you have installed XAMPP over there, this will be inside your right side tray over there. There will be a XAMPP icon, and that XAMPP icon will be something like this over there. Let me just show you that XAMPP icon. That XAMPP icon over there is going to be something like this over there, and that XAMPP icon will be extremely in the tray, the the rightmost tray over there, and you can just right click it and open the settings over there, or show or hide the settings over there, and then you can have that window which I just showed you in front of you, this window, and this is also available in your last video I shared. Sorry about this one. Anyway, coming back to this one now, since I want to write down a code over there, so I will now go on to the HTML website, or the HTML tutorial from where I'm actually taking all these notes, is w3schools.com. As I have told you, that HTML is the standard language, the markup language for web pages. It actually is called as the hypertext markup language, so that's why it's called as HTML. Now if you want to just copy paste one thing over there, let's say I just want to take on, this is a very simple example, I will just copy it from here, and I will just use the Control C over there, go back in my let me just go back in my Visual Studio Code, and I will just place it over there. I will explain this one just a little bit now, and I will just save it, and I will go back on my browser, and wherever that localhost is there, and refresh it. Now you can see there is something written, and this exactly written is being called as, this is a heading, or this is a paragraph over there. And if I go back on my Visual Studio Code, this is exactly the same thing that is written over there in between these two tags. Why I'm calling this as tag, I will just show you just now. And this is a paragraph over there, this is written over there inside these two over there. Now let me just explain this HTML over there. Every HTML document has to start with this tag. Now why I'm using the word tag, whenever you're going to use this brackets over there, the angular brackets over there, you can call it as the less than equal sign or the greater than equal sign. So these two, this line over there is actually going to tell the browser that this is an HTML code. Okay, so just not the extension is going to be one thing. The first line tag is always going to be this one, exclamation mark doc type, or actually the document type, the smaller reserved word is doc type space HTML. So it's actually telling the browser that, okay, whatever you are going to read down below is going to be an HTML document, and that's going to be. Then afterwards, if you can see over there, every time your HTML document is going to be loaded, you are going to have an HTML tag starting over there, and you can see over there, this is a starting tag, this is the ending tag, and there is a difference between these two. You can see over there that in ending tag there is a slash mark over there, and in the starting tag there is no hash mark. So your whole HTML document is composed of different elements. So those first element over there, as you can see over there, is this one, HTML down to HTML, and this is the first most HTML element that inside every all elements are going to be included over there. So HTML starting and HTML ending, and you have this one as the slash mark as the ending tag over there. So everything that is written inside these two tags, so this is an HTML element, and inside that HTML element, this is the starting tag and this is the ending tag. Okay, the word is actually tag being used over there. Now next thing, in HTML, this element, they are going to be three different types of element. The first type of element is going to be called as the head. And you can see over there that this head is again starting with the starting tag, that is actually again with the angular brackets over there, the head, and then the slash mark head, that is the ending tag. So now you can see the nomenclature that every portion of this HTML file is going to have a head, and then the next thing is going to be the body. That is where you are actually going to write down what you want to present to your user or the customer or whoever wants to visit your website, so that this body is actually, so this head, as you can see over there, this head contains the title of your website. And if I just go back on my browser at present, just for you people, now you can see over there where my mouse is actually hovering at present, you can see this is the page title. This is exactly the same word which is actually page title over there. And if I go back over there, just for example, and here over there, let's say I want to call it as the HTML AICT course, because this web series is for the AICT course being run at UT Lahore. So if I just save it now and go back over there and just refresh it, refreshing is a must. So now you can see now this is changed to HTML AICT course. So the name of any website which appears in your browser tab over there. So as you can see, I have many websites open here in front of you. I have this W3 Schools, I have this Geo News, I have the Google search engine open over there, I have another one over there. So many different points are there. So this is HTML AICT course. So you have this name written. There are some other elements which can be added inside this head tag, but I will introduce them as the course goes on and I will add them. Just the point is it that all the parameters which are just going to be displaying it or telling the browser that what type of things you are going to add inside it, they are inside going to be the head. That is actually, you can call it as the header of your, just like a header of your Microsoft Word document or anywhere. So this is actually just like the head of your document, the HTML document. Next comes the body, and this body again starts with a starting tag. You can see over there the angular brackets, the word body, and then the ending tag. So anything that is written inside this body tag is actually going to be printed, but of course with some again nomenclature or some reserved words being used over there. So this element over there is again going to be the main thing. And the next thing, the last thing which I have not still written over there, is actually the script tag. And this script tag, and you can see when I'm writing down the script tag, the ending tag is automatically added. So Visual Studio Code already knows it that how HTML documents work, so you don't need to. So otherwise you can do this editing inside your Microsoft. If you are on a Windows platform, you can do this in your notepad as well, but of course Visual Studio Code is much better. So HTML document has three types of elements inside the HTML element, main element. So one is the body, the other one is the head, the other one is the script at present. Maybe up till the third or the fourth session on this one, I'm not going to go towards the scripting over there. The script will be having the JavaScripts over there. The body is going to have the text or the images or the links or whatever you are going to actually have it over there. So this body is going to be the main task over there. The head is just going to be the HTML or the title of the page you want to actually write down. So I have done this over there. The scripting again is just the coding that is actually going to, supposedly you want to change the color when a button is pressed, you want to do something when a button is not pressed, or you want to have a timer over there. So everything like that, the coding part is actually going to be done in the script portion. You want to load something from a server over there, so that's going to be actually the script over there. Here our main focus is actually going to be the body at present over there. And if I go back on the HTML tutorial from the w3schools.com over there, so the example that is given over there is actually just over there. And if I give you the introduction first over there and open this HTML introduction over there, I guess my internet browser. Okay, so HTML, as I told you, is the hypertext markup language, and it is used to create web pages over there. And it consists of a series of elements, exactly the same thing I've already told you, and it tells the browser how to display the content. And the element label pieces of content, such as this is a heading, this is a paragraph, this is a link. As you can see, the same document or the same example I copied over there, and this doc type HTML declaration defines that this document is an HTML5 document. HTML5 is actually the latest protocol being used over there. The HTML is the root element, as I told you. This is actually the main element of the HTML page. Then the head, the title, and the body, these are all different sub elements inside your main element or the root element over there. And whenever an element is being talked about, there is a starting tag. This is called as a tag name, and that can be, it's a reserved word over there. So if you are talking about a starting tag, that is actually going to be this one, and then the ending is going to be with the slash mark. So this tells the browser that this particular thing starts from here and this particular thing ends from here. So this is something. And if I go back now on the code over there, just to give you a little bit more inroads, if you see in this side, this body element over there, you have this H1. So this H1 is actually going to be the heading. H1 is heading over there. So if whenever you want to have a heading for a paragraph, for a page, or a title of something, so this is H1. So this is a heading over there. And if you can go back on your browser over there on the best thing, so you can see over there, this is the heading. Now this is bold, this is bigger in size, so this is actually a heading over there. So this is the way in which you are having H1. Now just example, you have like 6 different types of headings possible over there. For example, let me just show you. If I can have this one, let's say if I add another one, I just copy pasted it over there. So this is a heading, this is a heading over there. I've just saved it. And if I go back on over there and I just ring, you can see now there are 2 different types of heading. Now I don't want 2 different headings of the same strength over there. Let me just change it to H2 over there. Let me just change it to H2. Now you will see that H2 is a little smaller in size as compared to H1. So this will be, this is a heading, this is a heading. Now you can see the size is decreasing down. Now you can increase these sizes as more, but we will come back to it when we will be talking about the CSS, that is actually the cascaded style sheets over there. I will give you a little brief introduction in this today's tutorial or today's video series. So we'll come back to this later on, but just for now, if you want to have this H1, H2, you can add another H3 as well, and that will be a little smaller than the previous one. So this is H3 over there, and this is H3. I will just save it over there, and I'm just copying, pasting the above text. You can change the text. So you can see now every time I am having this heading being done over there, and this heading is changing. This is the heading or something like that over there. Okay, now the next thing over there, which I want to actually go on, is the paragraph over there. So I have shown you that this is P over there and that is P over there. So if you want to write down, let me just copy some paragraph from the Geo website over there. I have opened this website over there. Supposedly, let's say, okay, we had a small crash in Dubai air show from the Indian Tejas, very famous Indian local production. So let me just copy some paragraph over there, and if I want to just copy this inside my Visual Studio, and I want to just paste it over there in this one. So now you can see I just copied it, and now this is going on. So the crash of Indian Tejas fighter and whatever words. Now this is going a little scrolling on the left and the right and all everything. Now this is a paragraph copied over there, and everything that I have written is inside the starting P tag and the ending slash P over there. And if I scroll this, you can see. But when I will go back on my website over there, and if I just refresh my page, you can see everything is written in one paragraph. Why? Because I have added this between the starting tag and the ending tag. So every word is written. And just for your viewable sake over there, if you want to change this, supposedly, let's say I want to press enter over there, and I want to press an enter over there as well. So everything which I am showing in front of me, I don't have to scroll down every time, because scrolling is a very difficult part for those who are programmers who have an idea. So what I've done over there, I've pressed enter over there. So even if I pressed enter over there, the browser is not going to add line over there because of this enter, because it is treating everything that is inside this P and this slash P as a paragraph. That's why it's not even taking this space over there or anything over there. So if I want to now have this paragraph as one and this paragraph as one, then for that purpose I will have to have two paragraphs. But before that, let me just show you, because I have pressed enter. Even if I refresh it, it's still the very same, no change over there. Why? Because the browser is taking this one as one paragraph. Now if I want to add two paragraphs, what I can do over there, I can have the ending P over there. Let's just the ending P, and here I can add the starting P over there, let's say, and it's by default adding another one because I have already have a ending tag over there. Save it and go back on my this one. Now if I will refresh it, now you can see now there are two paragraphs over there. Of course the font size is a very small at present, don't worry on that. We will come back when we are going to do the CSS, which means the formatting. CSS stands for cascading style sheets. It's actually a styling for all your website over there, and all this website you see over there. For example, if you go on your geo.com or geo.tv over there, the geo on the top, the picture on this one, and the ads on the other side and everything, and this one, this is all is done by the styling part. So that styling is actually a totally different domain. Today we are not going to do that much over there, but just for now at present, that is going to be done in the styling part. One thing very important, since this is one line over there, over here in this part, and this is also one line over there. Let's say I want to add another line over there. Let me just open the same news clipet over there. Supposing I just want to add another line from here. Let's say I just want to add another paragraph, and I want to add this one in the second part over there. So let's say I want to add it, and just for the sake of it, I have added it over there, and let me just press enter. I'm just pressing this enter, so everything is in my view at present. So everything what I'm seeing over there is inside this P tag over there. Now when I'm going to refresh my browser over there, it's still going to be let me just open my browser over there, and this will be still, you can see now the such a public loss will inevitably overshadows India's effort to establish a jet abroad. So it's still in the one line. Now I want this word such goes in the next line. I wanted that there should be, it still remains inside this P tags, but I wanted that it goes in the next line over there. For example, I just want to do that. For that purpose, a very small command is there, a very small tag is there, and it is not having any starting or ending tag, just one tag over there, and that is called as BR. That is a branch. So this is actually going to do branch, BR, branch over there. And now when I'm going to refresh it, and now you can see now it has automatically gone in the next one. Now it's not taken as a new paragraph, it has just taken as a new line. Okay, so BR is one way, and you can see over there in this tutorial, they have given you the H1, the P, and the BR over there. So this is that H1, P, and the BR over there. So these are small tags over there, and in these tags you can see that you are actually adding in your document. So now your document is something like this, where H1, H2, H3, you can practice it for your H4, H5, H6. I'm not going to do that, leaving this document, whatever I'm going to make today, I will make this share on my website as well, so that those who actually want to take this document and practice it, I will make this available on the website link in the description below. Then, as I told you, if I go back on the editors over there, as I told you, I'm since using Visual Studio Code. You can use Notepad if you are on a Windows computer, but of course it's not going to give you or assisting you in some coding or the syntax errors or something like that. So of course Visual Studio Code is much better. If you are on a Mac, I can use that text edit as well. So it's totally up to you. But overall, Visual Studio Code is the go for choice at present all around the world. This is 2025, so Visual Studio Code is still blooming. Maybe in some years if this changes or something like that, so you can use this basic editors over there. But of course, my area of choice and your area of choice, because if you are a C language programmer or any other programmer, then Visual Studio Code is the basic solution which you can actually use over there. But you can do this one in your Notepad as shown over there. So this is that editor part over there. And if I go back on the basics thing, now I've already done this part over there, but just giving you a little idea that if you have the document declaration, the same things shown over here. If you have done the document declaration, then I have already told you that HTML headings or any headings are from H1 to H6. The only thing is very important that there is going to be a starting tag and there is going to be an ending tag. Now w3schools.com is a very good website, and it's almost for almost all of the languages, very famous languages are already over there. It has a inside text editor also over there. And if you want to just see how this lines, these three lines are actually represented, you can just click on this link, try it yourself, and it opens a new page in your browser, whichever browser you are using. And it's taking some time to load over there. So you can see now this is again document type HTML body, and you can see now H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 over there, and you can see now 6 different types of headings over there. Now these headings can be changed, their sizes can be changed, but by default they are in this size. So you can see the code editor is on the left hand side and the viewing area is on this side. So w3schools.com give you this idea as well that you can write down any code in this side and you can view it. For example, let's just say I go back on my Visual Studio and I copy my code. Let's say I just copy it by Control A, Control C, and I go back on over there and I paste my code over there. Let me just take my code over there and I want to just do the code. I just pasted my code over there and I run it. So this run command, and you can see now everything which I wanted is now printed here. So whatever I was printing it over there, don't worry on this the lines over there, because I have my viewing area very small over there. So you can increase it and decrease it over there depending upon the viewing area, because your monitor, your mobile on which you are going to view this website is going to be different resolution. Here at present, this is actually a 756/803. If you can increase it, you can see now the horizontal is increasing too. So if you have your resolution changed to some other thing, of course, the paragraph is going to be something different unless and until. We'll come back to it at a later part, how this is going to work. So this is going to be the editor that you can use over there for your w3schools.com if you want to use it. But since you are making your own website, you are having a local host on your PC or on your Windows or Mac PC or your laptops over there, so of course you are going to use this as a Visual Studio Code over there. Coming back to the website over there, after this HTML headings over there, you have the HTML paragraph. As I told you, you can have multiple paragraphs as I've already done inside it. You can have this PP over there. The next thing, very important, that you can actually add is actually the A tag. And A tag is actually the link, because if you go back on my this geo.tv, because I'm using this every time geo open. So if I want to actually just click this vote counting underway, so this is actually a link, because when I'm moving my mouse over there, this is actually changing it into a finger. Okay, that thumb over there, that finger over there. So it means that when I'm going to click it, it's going to open a new page, maybe inside it or maybe a separate page over there. So this is a link. This is a hyperlink over there. So when I'm clicking it, it's going to open a new link over there. So this can be done inside your page using the A tag. For example, let's say after this paragraph, I want to write down a link. Let's say I want to have a link starting. So again, A is going to be this one. And as soon as I write down A, it gives me the ending tag. Let me go back on w3schools.com and tell you that how an A tag can be done. A tag can be written as starting tag has the link given as H referenced this one. So let me just copy this one. Let's just say I want to copy this one. Let me just add this one over there. and I go back over there and I just copy this in place of this one. So when I've copied this one, I save it over there. Now what is going to happen? I will have a word written as this is a link written over there. And when I'm going to click that link, as soon as my mouse will be there or my cursor will be on that point, this will be clicking this w3schools.com. Let me just show this one in front of you. If I go back on my page, click on this one. Now you can see over there, as soon this my mouse or the cursor goes on this one, this is a link now. So this is a link now, and now this can change over there and I will click it. It will open that w3schools.com in my website. Okay, so it's going to that browser and it's going to open that website over there. For example, let's say I want to add another link. Let's say since this is the news for the Indian Tejas being added over there, I want to add another link. Let's say this is H reference and equal to H reference means that is the hyperlink reference over there. So I want to add the Tejas news that is from the Geo website. Let's say where was the Indian Tejas? It has now gone a little below now. So what is the link of this news link over there? This is actually that geo.tv /latest /634999 -tejas -crash over there. So I will copy this link over there by using Control-C, and I will go on my this one, and here inside this inverted commas where I have written H reference is equal to this one, I will write down this one, and when I've written it over there, and I will complete my starting tag, and as soon as I will put that angular bracket over there, it will give me. And now inside this A or A's ending tag over there, I can write down the Tejas. Let me just use caps lock over there just for you. So Tejas Geo News link, or just simple Teja Geo News. Let's see, just add a dash over there. I will just save it over there. And now if I go back on my HTML website and refresh it, now you can see there is a written Tejas-Geo News. And if I will now click it, this will open the news that I gave it. So I can give any link in my website. It can be from a foreign website. It can be from somewhere else. So this is going to open a new link over there. I can go back over there and I can use this Tejas-Geo News over there. So this can open this link over there easily. I can have multiple links added. So A over here, A tag actually makes your links over there, or the HTML links or the hyperlinks, you can call it over there. So the link destination is described by the H reference, that is actually the hyperlink reference over there, the reference over there. So this is being done over there. Next thing, very important, I will come back to the different attributes of this A tag later on, but just for now, I'm just giving you a basic introduction. I'm going with this w3schools.com, the basic tutorials over there. I'm at present at the HTML basic. I will come back to this A1 and maybe in the second part of this one when we'll be discussing the HTML links over there. This will be in the second web series of this one, so you can come back to this one. Next thing is the images. Now I want to have an image added, okay? Just like I want to add an image of the Teja that was crashed over there. Of course, sadly that pilot did not survive and he was burned over there. So now I want to add an image over there, and I want to add an image from some website, or maybe I have saved it somewhere. So the example or the tag name is IMG. Again, just like the very simple. Now this is not going to have an ending tag or a starting tag because this is a simple image. So what I'm going to do, let's just say let's just see how w3schools.com tells it. So the w3schools.com, this is w3schools.com, and I'm having it over there. So you can see now this image IMG is equal to source equal to w3schools.jpg, and ALT means alternate, which means that if that image is not there, then you are going to write down w3schools.com. The width of the image is 104, the height of the image is 142, and you can see everything over here is inside the tag over there. That is the IMG tag over there. So whenever you have started this angular brackets and the ending brackets over there, so everything is inside this over there, and there is a spacing between each of. So inside this image, these are the attributes. The attributes means the parameters which define this element. So one is the source, the other one is the alternate text over there. I will just give you a little idea what this works over there. Then I have the width over there, then I have the height over there. Now let's say I want to copy this one on my website. Let's just copy this one. And I go back on my this one and I just copy this, pasted this one before this one. Let's say I have added this one, and let me just scroll down, sorry, over there, and this is my image. Now when I've done this one, what this is going to display, it's of course should display the exactly the same image over there. And when this is having that same image over there, so it should be displaying that same image of this same size and whatever. So let me just go back on my website. This is HTML over there, and if I just come it, now there is nothing being displayed. Why? Because the image is not given any link over there, because the source is w3schools.jpg and that image is not present in my website, because I've just taken it for w3schools.com. When it was opening this web page, this image, this particular image was available inside my that w3schools website. So they knew it that it was available at w3schools.com over there, and it was available over there. So now if I want to have this image in my website, what I have to do, first of all, let's just say I want to open this one, and there are two ways of doing it. Either I can download the image first, or I can copy the image address. Let's see what I can do. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the image address, and I've done it. Let me just again, do it. Copy the image address. And when I do this, copy the image address, and instead of source now over there, I paste that link over there. Now, when I've done it, you can see now what is the source over there, https://www.w3schools.com/html/w3schools.jpg. Now I save it, and now I go back over there and I refresh my browser, and now of course it is displayed, because now it knows where to search that image. So I have now, so this source actually tells from wherever you want to actually have your image displayed. For example, let's say I want to display this Teja crash. This is from the Dubai, I guess, from over there. So I want to just display this image. So I can do the very exactly the same thing. Just right click on this one and copy the image address. So I am now giving the website address of the geo wherever this image is being placed. And here inside it, I am now changing it to this website. So now the geo.tv/asset/upload/update, whatever that path may be. And here, this is the width. I have given a width of 104/142. I will just come back to later on. And I click on this one and go back on the HTML AICT. And now this time, you can see now that image is here. But that image is cramped because the original image is very big over there. So it's not being showed over there. So let me just go back over there. And instead of giving the width is equal to, let's say, I give a width of 400. Let's say this is a width of 400. And the height is something 300, assuming the aspect ratio, I'm keeping it. And I go back on my website and refresh it. Now you can see this is written. So now you can see the image, the same image. This image is not on my website. This image is now taking from the Geo website, and it's being displayed on my localhost server at present, because I'm giving a website detail of the Tejas Downing over here in the 2 paragraphs above over there. The second way which you can do over there, if you are doing a website and you have an ample space on your website and you want to use some picture which you have already taken from your smartphone or somewhere or any camera, one thing is right click on it, save image to the downloads, go to your images section. Let me just go to your images section. Let's just say I have inside my images section, this is my image. I will copy this image from here. Let's just say I just copy this image. Since I'm on MacBook, on your computer it will be different. I will go in my applications. Since this I'm on a MacBook over there, I will go on the XAMPP. Inside my htdocs folder, here I will paste this image. Now this image has a different name, some numbers, some updates over there. Let's just say I call this one as teja.jpg. Now this is teja.jpg over there. Now what I will do, now this name is very big over there. I will just take this name out, and here I will just write teja.jpg. You see, Visual Studio is already telling me that inside htdocs folder, there is a picture already teja.jpg. So it's telling me, so I will just save it now. This time when I'm going to open it, it's again going to load that photo, and you can see now it's loaded very fast because it's not going to take it from some other website. It's going to take it from my own computer. So this is teja.jpg over there. So you can see now the image is being taken up from this part and over there. And this alternate text, I will come back to it later on when I'm talking about the images a little bit in more detail, but this is one way. And if you don't give this height and the width tag over there, let's say I don't want to give this height and the width tag, so what will happen, the original image size appears, and you can see now as I refreshed it, this image original. If you can restrain it to some smaller size as well, you can make it to its original size as well. You can even stretch it or skew it whatever size you want. So this is one way of doing it. So this is the HTML images. You can add your HTML image over there like this one. Next thing, which is very important, I don't want this lecture to be very long over there because that actually makes the students more boring. But this is actually already done over there. I've already told you that the elements are arranged as the starting tag and the ending tag. So this is H1, then there is P. I already told you about the BR, that is actually the branch if you want to put a line return or something like that over there. And then all the elements are nested. As I told you, the body is the root element, or the HTML is actually the root element, and inside it there is a body element, and inside that body element then you have many different H1s, H2s, H3, or many Ps over there, or maybe even images over there or links over there. So you can have the over there. So you can have many different nested elements inside one over there, just like we have already done over there. So all this is the elements inside another element, inside another element. So they can have many different elements inside different elements over there. So one thing very important, which is that never skip the ending tag. If the element which you are using, you have to have the ending tag over there, but HTML will still display it correctly. But a good programmer, please do not forget the ending tag. That is very, very important. Next thing, very important, as I told you, there are some tags which are in having no starting or ending tag. There is only BR over there. That BR actually defines as a line break, as I told you. So that BR is an empty element without a closing tag, as I already told you. And very, very importantly, HTML is not case sensitive. It is, you can write down P small, you can write down the capital B, you can write down H1 capital, you can write down H1 small. So it has nothing different over there. So this is all for the HTML elements over there. In the next series, I will start with the HTML attributes from here, and I hope you have learned something from over there. Attributes are the properties of different elements, just like I told you that inside the A tag, you can have the H reference. There can be something more inside the A tag. I will talk in the next lecture over there, or the next series of this, next video of this series over there, or the source tag or something like that. I will tell you a little bit in more detail. Till now, this is the code over there for the web series 1, the part 1 over there, and I hope you have learned something, and see you again in the next portion of this series.